Welcome back to Lakers News Fan Report, where we bring you the latest and most exciting sports news every single day. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button right now because if you're a Lakers fan or just someone obsessed with NBA drama, clutch moments, and the relentless chase for a championship, you're in the right place. In today's story, let's just say, if you thought the Lakers were done making noise this season, think again. Because there's a name quietly resurfacing inside team facilities. A name that could either be a total game changer or nothing at all. And that uncertainty is exactly what makes this story so compelling. Now, we've all been locked in on the usual suspects. LeBron James still playing like he's got cheat codes in year 21. Anthony Davis walking the tightrope of health and dominance. Austin Reeves stepping into a bigger role. Even J.J. Redick, yes, the rookie head coach who's gone from podcast to playoff coaching in one of the most pressure-filled positions in all of sports. But while all eyes are on the headlines, something is brewing behind the scenes. A subtle shift, a potential plot twist that could either elevate this team or leave us all wondering, what if? Let's talk about Jared Vanderbilt. Remember him? The high-energy forward who made a name for himself last season with his insane motor, disruptive defense, and ability to guard multiple positions? Yeah, that guy. The one who's been missing in action for months. The one whose absence hasn't gotten nearly enough attention. But here's the thing, Vanderbilt might be coming back. And depending on how, when, and in what shape he returns, this could flip the entire trajectory of the Lakers' postseason run. Reports started surfacing late last week. Vanderbilt has ramped up basketball activity. Team sources say he's getting close. That phrase alone, getting close, has Lakers fans buzzing. Not because they're desperate, but because they remember. They remember what Vanderbilt did to Luka Doncic in last year's regular season. They remember how he helped turn games around purely with effort, with chaos, with a kind of hustle that doesn't show up in the box score, but wins possessions, wins moments, wins games. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The Lakers don't need Vanderbilt to come back as a star. They don't need him to drop 20 points or take over offensively. They need him to be what he's always been, an elite role player, a defensive disruptor, a tone setter. And right now, with the Lakers' perimeter defense being as shaky as it's been in certain matchups, a healthy Vanderbilt could be a literal difference maker. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. This isn't a guaranteed fairy tale return. This is still a guy recovering from a mid-foot sprain, an injury that's notoriously tricky. It's not a simple strain. It affects cutting, sprinting, stopping, all the things that make Vanderbilt Vanderbilt. So the question is, what version of him are we actually getting? Some insiders believe he could be ready by the start of the playoffs. Others are more cautious, saying it might take a couple of rounds before he's truly 100%. But here's the million-dollar question. Do the Lakers even have the luxury of waiting? Let's paint a scenario. Imagine the Lakers draw the Pelicans or the Kings in the first round. Two teams with dynamic wing scorers. Brandon Ingram, Keegan Murray, De'Aaron Fox. These are players who can torch slower defenders. Having Vanderbilt back, even at 75%, could be the key to containing them. And if he's not ready, that defensive assignment falls squarely on Reeves, Dillo, or Rue. All solid players, but none with the on-ball disruptive ability that Vanderbilt brings. Could this mean we see a defensive rotation reshuffle? Is it possible that Redick is keeping this return under wraps to surprise opponents? Some fans are even wondering, could Vanderbilt secretly be the Lakers' best defensive option against Jamal Murray or Devin Booker if they make it to the later rounds? And here's where it gets speculative, but in a way that's grounded in reality. Because the Lakers' coaching staff has been unusually tight-lipped about Vanderbilt's status. No firm return date, no media availability, just quiet optimism. That tells us two things. One, they're protecting the player. Two, they might be holding a wild card. Remember last year? Vanderbilt returned from injury just before the playoffs and was inserted straight into high-leverage minutes. He responded by taking on elite assignments, giving the Lakers a defensive edge they didn't have without him. So it's not out of the question that they try that again. But there's risk. Huge risk. Chemistry is fragile this time of year. Rotations are delicate. One bad quarter, one failed experiment, and you can lose a series. So Redick has to weigh this carefully. Is it worth testing out Vanderbilt in Game 1 of a playoff series? Or do you bring him along slowly, maybe even use him as a situational piece? Fans are split. Some say, we need him now. No time to wait. Others caution, don't rush him back. We've seen what happened before with guys like Lonzo, like Zion. Let him heal properly. But that's the tension here. The Lakers don't have time. They're not the one seed cruising to the conference finals. They're battling every single game. They're trying to avoid the play-in. They need every edge. And Vanderbilt might be the edge. What makes this even more compelling is how his return could completely reshape matchups. With Vondo back, you could run a closing lineup of LeBron, AD, Reeves, Vanderbilt, and whoever's hot, Dillo or Rue. That's defense. That's versatility. That's switching across all 5 positions. That's exactly what gave teams like the Celtics and Heat an advantage in last year's playoffs. Interchangeable defenders, chaos on the perimeter, and the ability to force turnovers in key moments. You can't teach that kind of instinct. Vanderbilt has it. He's not just a good defender, he's a disruptor. He gets deflections. He gets into passing lanes. He pokes balls loose, pressures inbound passes, makes the opposing offense uncomfortable. And in a postseason where possessions slow down and execution becomes everything, that chaos becomes lethal. Here's another layer. LeBron loves playing with Vanderbilt. The two have chemistry. LeBron's even gone on record praising Vanderbilt's energy and willingness to do the dirty work. That kind of synergy, it matters, especially when the games get tight and the stars need to lean on role players they trust. Could this be the secret weapon? Could Vanderbilt come back and do for the Lakers what Bruce Brown did for the Nuggets last year? Not the headline guy, but the glue. The guy who makes everything stick together. But of course, it could go the other way. The foot might not hold up. He could struggle with rhythm. He could be targeted on offense. Remember, his shooting is still a work in progress. Some teams might dare him to shoot, sag off, and mess with spacing. If that happens, does Redick pull him? Or double down and trust his defense to outweigh the offensive liability? That's the chess match. And we haven't even talked about how Vanderbilt's return might affect the minutes for other players. Rui Hachimura's role, Taurean Prince, even Cam Reddish. Minutes are finite. Roles are shifting. And the margin for error is 0. But here's what gives me hope as a fan, as someone who watches every dribble, every rotation, every lineup tweak. Vanderbilt wants it. He's hungry. He's not the type to coast. And everything we've heard from the team is that he's been putting in the work behind the scenes. Rehab, film, conditioning, preparing for this exact moment. So now we wait. Will J.J. Redick pull the trigger and unleash Vanderbilt in round 1? Or will he play it safe, lean on continuity, and hope the team can grind through without him? But what do you think about all of this? Is Vanderbilt the hidden piece that could swing the Lakers' playoff fate? Or are we pinning too many hopes on a player coming off a tricky injury? One thing that cannot be overstated is the Lakers' defensive struggles this season. Despite having LeBron and AD as cornerstone defenders, they've been inconsistent, particularly against quicker, more dynamic guards and wings. That's where Vanderbilt's return could come in handy. He offers a unique defensive presence that no other player on the roster can replicate. Now, if you're a Lakers fan, you know how critical defense is come playoff time. The postseason isn't just about putting up big numbers on offense. It's about getting stops when the game slows down. That's why a player like Vanderbilt, who thrives in the gritty, physical battles that define playoff basketball, could be exactly what the team needs. Let's not forget, though, that the Lakers are in a tight spot. They can't afford to gamble too much. They've made it clear that their goal is not just to make the playoffs, but to go deep and ultimately to win it all. With that kind of pressure, every decision matters, including when and how to integrate Vanderbilt into the mix. What makes this scenario even more intriguing is how it aligns with the broader dynamics of the team. With a strong core of LeBron, AD, and Reeves, the Lakers have a solid foundation. But the depth is what will decide their fate. Having Vanderbilt come in to fill the role of a defensive disruptor would be invaluable in adding a new layer of versatility to this team's overall makeup. But there's more at play here than just basketball strategy. The psychological impact of having a guy like Vanderbilt on the floor cannot be overlooked. His intensity, his relentless hustle, and his defensive mindset could inspire the rest of the team to elevate their own level of play. Sometimes it's not just about stats, it's about setting a tone that shifts the momentum. As fans, we all have that one player we root for, someone who may not be the star, but who embodies the grit and grind of what it means to be a champion. For many Lakers fans, that player could very well be Jared Vanderbilt. His work ethic, his commitment to defense, and his willingness to do the dirty work make him the kind of player that fans love to see rise to the occasion when it matters most. However, the challenge for the Lakers coaching staff will be managing expectations. It's one thing to bring Vanderbilt in for a few minutes of high-energy defense, but it's another to rely on him in crucial moments. The team will need to balance his impact with the realities of his health and readiness. It's a fine line to walk, and only time will tell how it plays out. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that the Lakers need one more big name to secure their championship hopes, but the truth is, they might already have the missing piece. Jared Vanderbilt, if he's healthy, could very well be that guy who makes the difference, whether it's guarding the other team's best player or simply providing the hustle plays that win playoff games. This is where the importance of depth truly comes into play. Many teams, especially in the postseason, rely heavily on their star players to carry the load. But championship teams are built on a well-rounded roster where every player understands their role and executes it to perfection. Vanderbilt could be the embodiment of that philosophy, doing whatever it takes to help the team win, no matter the situation. Think about it. In a high-pressure playoff series, teams will do everything they can to neutralize LeBron and AD. That's when role players like Vanderbilt become invaluable. If he can take on tough assignments and relieve some of the pressure from the stars, it could give the Lakers the breathing room they need to stay competitive. On the flip side, if Vanderbilt's return doesn't pan out the way the Lakers hope, they could find themselves in a difficult position. Relying too heavily on him too soon could throw off the team's rhythm. That's a risk that Redick and the coaching staff will have to carefully evaluate. It's a game of risk management, with the stakes higher than ever. But let's not forget that this isn't just about adding Vanderbilt back into the lineup. It's about what he represents. His return is a symbol of the Lakers' commitment to their defensive identity. It's a reminder that in the postseason, defense wins championships. And if Vanderbilt can bring the same intensity he showed last year, the Lakers could become a much tougher team to beat. In the end, the question remains, will Vanderbilt be the missing piece to the Lakers' championship puzzle? Or will he be another what-if story in a season that's already filled with uncertainty? It's a scenario that adds a layer of suspense to the upcoming playoff run. But one thing's for sure, the Lakers' fate might rest on a player many have forgotten about. One thing that often gets overlooked is the mental aspect of an injury comeback. Vanderbilt has been sidelined for a significant amount of time, and recovering from a midfoot sprain isn't just about physical readiness. It's also about regaining confidence in his own body. Will he be hesitant on defense, or will he come back with the same aggression we saw last year? That's a critical factor in determining his impact. And it's not just about defense. While it's true that Vanderbilt is known for his tenacity on that end, he's also capable of contributing in other ways. His hustle, cutting ability, and basketball IQ make him a versatile player who can make an impact without needing the ball in his hands. In a playoff atmosphere where every possession counts, that kind of player can be invaluable. We've seen time and time again how the Lakers have struggled when they don't have enough depth to compete with high-scoring teams. The addition of a healthy Vanderbilt could provide just the boost they need to match up with the likes of the Nuggets, Suns, or Warriors. He's a player who can add another layer to the defensive game plan, taking pressure off other players and creating matchup problems for opposing offenses. Looking at the broader picture, this could also provide a much-needed balance for the Lakers' playoff rotation. If Vanderbilt returns, the Lakers can rely on him to lock down on opposing wings, freeing up players like LeBron and AD to focus on other aspects of the game. The team has seen success when they've been able to rely on their defense to get stops in crucial moments. That's something they'll need to repeat in the postseason. Think about this. In close playoff games, the Lakers often find themselves in situations where the game can be won or lost on the defensive end. If Vanderbilt can lock down an opposing scorer in the final minutes of a game, it could tip the scales in favor of the Lakers. His ability to disrupt offenses in clutch moments could be just what this team needs to outlast tough opponents. What's particularly intriguing about Vanderbilt's return is the element of surprise it could bring. With so many playoff teams working hard to scout the Lakers, the idea that they could have a defensive ace up their sleeve is a game changer. Opponents may think they've prepared for everything the Lakers have to offer, but suddenly throwing Vanderbilt into the mix could create mismatches they hadn't anticipated. The idea of pairing Vanderbilt with the Lakers' other defenders is also intriguing. Imagine a closing lineup with LeBron, AD, Reeves, Vanderbilt, and another versatile defender like D'Lo or Rui. That's a lineup that can switch seamlessly, cover multiple positions, and apply pressure in a way that very few teams can replicate. It's a defensive juggernaut that could dominate in the later rounds. But even if Vanderbilt doesn't provide the immediate spark many are hoping for, his presence could still be a net positive. His competitive fire and leadership could provide a much-needed boost to the team's morale. Sometimes, just having a guy who isn't afraid to get his hands dirty can elevate the entire team's mindset. As much as fans are hoping for a hero's return, it's important to remember that the Lakers can't put all their hopes into one player. Even if Vanderbilt comes back and plays well, the team's success will depend on how everyone contributes. This is a team sport, after all, and everyone needs to be locked in if the Lakers are going to make a deep playoff run. At the same time, the Lakers know that their window for a championship is now. With LeBron in year 21 and AD's health always a question mark, there's no guarantee that the Lakers will have another shot at a title this strong in the future. That sense of urgency is exactly why bringing back Vanderbilt, if possible, could be a calculated risk worth taking. It's all or nothing for the Lakers at this point. Personally, I'm excited. Nervous, but excited. Because sometimes, it's not the stars that change the course of a playoff run. Sometimes it's the guy you least expect. And Jared Vanderbilt, he might just be that guy. I can't wait to read your thoughts in the comments below. Let's get into it. Should the Lakers play it safe or go all in and unleash Vanderbilt? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to Lakers News Fan Report, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. We've got playoff drama, breaking news, and everything in between coming your way. Until next time, stay locked in, Lakers Nation. We're just getting started.